Well, Mother's Day is around the corner, so today we'll be making a rock photo holder. Before we get started, we'll need a few things. Your choice of nail polish, make sure to have a clear coat, a good sized rock, thin wire, and wire cutters. Alright, we'll start by painting the rock. You can use acrylic paint if you'd like, or however you prefer, or you can just leave it as a rock. I'm going to be painting mine blue and then adding some glitter. I'm going to let that first coat dry and we'll get back to it when we start doing the second coat. Okay, so the first coat is more or less dry. Let's go ahead and do a second coat. That's the second coat. Let's let that dry up, and I think we'll just add the glitter. Alright, it is dry. Let's go ahead and add some glitter. Dry and I'll get right back to you. Alright, my glitter layer is dry enough. We're going to go ahead and put on a clear coat. Go ahead and let that dry, and I'll come back to you when this is completely dry. Okay, so we have finished painting it with the nail polish. Not too sure if I can capture it, but it has a really nice sparkle. It's kind of blue and purple depending on how you look at it. I thought this would be fantastic for my mother. So I do have a Sharpie, so I'm gonna go ahead and write Mom on it. I'm not really good with calligraphy, so excuse my writing. So there you have it. You can write whatever you'd like, you can decorate it more, you can put another clear coat if you'd like. I think this will be fine for what I'm trying to make. Go ahead, you can add stickers. I think you can even probably do that whole melted crayon thing to this. The base, you can really make it however you'd like. That's the beauty of doing one of these painted rocks. Now the little twist that we're doing is that we're going to make it into a picture frame holder, or a picture holder. So with the wire, let's go ahead this way. With the wire, we are going to cut 3 strands. I'm going to do mine about 10 inches. If you got too much, you can always cut it off. It's always better to do that than not have enough. So make sure they're at least roughly about the same size. They don't have to be perfectly exact. The exact gauge number of my wire, but it's extremely thin, so it's very flexible. I'd recommend this if you are going to do a braid like I am. If you're just going to wrap it around with a normal wire, I would recommend 18 or 20 gauge. So we have 3 mostly identical in length strands. On the tips, I am going to curl them. There we go. So you're just going to wrap it around the tiniest part of your pliers. If you are not using pliers, you can use something small to wrap it around. Maybe like a lead pencil, like the tip of it's kind of curved, so that'd work Just gonna do it until the ends cross each other, and then I'm just gonna use the flattened tip to straighten it out. So the ends are now touching, they're wrapped, well, yeah, they're wrapped around a bit. So I'm gonna do that to all three of one of the ends of all three. I am trying to straighten the wire a bit. It's just gonna make it a little bit easier later on. All three have been wrapped, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it around the stone. I like to get mine to line up right in the middle. And then I'm gonna thread it through. You could probably use an embroidery needle if you have one, just to make those little curls. Something relatively small. Oopsie, look. Pulled too hard and the curl came off. It's always the first one that's a little tricky. I think that's as snug as I'm gonna get it. So I have one done, let's go ahead and do another one. Both wires to be stranded through this loop. Last one. Find it a little bit easier if you kind of pre-bend everything. And then so it kind of has the shape already, so it just makes it a little bit easier. Go ahead and strand all three of your wires now through this last little loopy end. Just tighten up everything. Alright, now that all the wire has been wrapped around and it's a bit more snug, you can use hot glue if you'd like to keep it more in place. I'm not really worried. I think it looks fine for me, but that's another option you could do to really secure it. So now that we have three strands, we're going to go ahead and braid them. So try to work more closer to the base, and then so you can get a really tight braid. See, we're now done with the braid. My ends are not even, so I'm going to clip them up and kind of wrap them around each other so that they don't poke anybody. Use your fingers or your pliers to just wrap them together. My ends are cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and just use the very end of my pliers to just wrap around. You can use the Sharpie backing or however you want. Probably could even use your finger, but I'm just going to use my pliers since I have them. Wrapped it to where it loops around twice and the end is even with your support line, I guess. Just going to go ahead and squish that a little bit closer together using my hands. And straighten out some of my wires. Straighten out my little support bit, and there you go. That's it. Very simple photo holder made with a rock and some wire. It's very sturdy, that's why I chose to do braiding. You can use, like I said, an 18 or 20 gauge wire instead. So much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And have a happy Mother's Day.